Hello, everybody. And as you can see, the very first thing you'll notice is that the title is a tad bit different. We are finally past election season, but the work doesn't end. So I'm going to put the website in the comment section because I was almost running late for this. So let's see. Hope everybody had a great day. There it is right there. You can still visit the website at cornelwest2024.com. And of course, we have a fire truck going by today. Okay, we're just waiting. Just waiting. Okay, so eventually that's going to stop. So you can still visit Cornel West 2024. The campaign still has expenses from this campaign to kind of shore up. So your donations are still appreciated. Um, Before I get started, I'm going to talk about how the next couple of weeks are going to work out. So, as you know, it didn't go well for us this time, but that's okay. Um, Dr. West got on a total of, with the write-in campaigns and the states that the campaign was able to get into, I believe it was 28 states. I want to say 28 so bad, so I'm just going to say 28. If I'm wrong, just put it in the comment section. Um, with the majority of people, for some reason, decided not to vote for Dr. West. I don't understand why, but in terms of the outcome that I wanted, there's still a little bit of disappointment, yes, but I have to keep in mind, and that's what I'll be doing over the next couple of weeks, is this is just a moment in a movement, right? This is just the start of something bigger than running for president and vice president. And that's why you now see Dr. Melina's title name in the title. So it's both congratulations to Dr. Cornel West and to Dr. Melina Abdullah for a campaign that, with the few resources that um, to achieve such great outcomes is just unbelievable. Again, not the outcome I wanted. I wanted America to wake up to this genocide that needs to stop in Gaza, Sudan, Congo, other places around the world, including here in the United States. But, we don't always get what we want. But the idea is to keep moving forward. I'm going to need your comments tonight. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. Because it's just going to be me this hour. Next week, I'll have a guest or two. I think I'll have two guests next week. But this one, it'll be just me. Y'all know I struggle. I'm on struggle street when I'm by myself. So I'm going to need everybody who's watching to comment. Just say hello, something, because I'm going to need all of the support I can get. Because again, you know I struggle when I'm by myself. So, for those that don't know, March, oh boy, I forgot the debut of the show. Oh my goodness. Um, Hold on here. Oh my goodness. I done sat here and forgot. Hold on. I think it's March 1st, but I don't know that to be exact. Yep, I'm right. Okay. So Oh, hello. Hey, cousin Tracy. Hello, Nelson. Yes, it's just beginning of movement. Now we have to continue the work to get the word out. Yes. Um, as you all know or don't know, a lot of you, when it was coming down to the end of congratulations um, to the 47th president, Dr. Cornel West, that was coming to an end. I was like, you know what? I'm going to end this. I'm going to stop. I've done what I can do. Um, we're. I'm just going to pack this up um, and just not go. But many of you kept saying, no, we've got to keep this going. This is a moment and a movement. We've got to continue the fight. So, March 1st, 2025, this podcast will actually go under 3 name changes. It'll go from congratulations to the 47th president, Dr. Cornel West, to congratulations, Dr. West and Dr. Melina Abdullah, to Justice is Here. That's what the podcast will be called March 1st. It's a continuation of the podcast in terms of getting the Justice for All Party work continuing. It will exclusively talk about the Justice for All Party. We probably won't do an interview every Saturday. I'm thinking most likely it will be every other Saturday, unless there's just like every single state has a Justice for All Party going. Um, that that's pretty much the only way I would do it every week. But until then, I kept saying, what is it that I'm going to, and remember to comment. Please, please, Nelson already did it. Thank you, Nelson, for commenting. Throw a comment in the comment section because, yeah, again, I struggle when I'm by myself. I don't like being by myself, but that's okay. So I said, maybe I'll just show some past shows. And do it that way, but that costs a little bit in StreamYard, and I'm like, I don't got $50 a month to be doing that. So, so what we'll be doing in the next couple of weeks, um, we will be talking about issues on the platform. So tonight's discussion will be Medicare for all. Then next week we'll have another topic, etc., etc. There won't be this show December the 14th because that's the Defeat the Duopoly Awards, dishonoring those who deserve to be dishonored. And we won't have one the Saturday after Thanksgiving because we'll have a show, but it won't be a topic because that one will be a best of where I'm going to go pick clips out of the original podcast and talk about those. And then we won't do one previous to the new year, January. January, might as well just forget it. That's my birthday month. Nope, nope, nope. February we'll do a couple, and then March we'll start right into um, Justice is Here. So tonight's topic is Medicare for all. You know what, Nelson? Thank you. At least Cornel West is not a sellout like Bernie Sanders. West Abdullah ran until the end. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and inspired so many people because, like I said, I was ready to just not even do this anymore. Um, and just be like, I'm done. I've done the best I can. Something else you will hear that you never heard in the other podcast is this, and I'll put it in the little, I'll put it in the little comment section because I see quite a few people watching but not commenting. Yep, you'll see that. This is one thing I did not do when I did and I'm going to say the original show, because I felt like, you know what, I want the attention to be on Dr. West and Dr. Abdullah. Um, and so I'm not going to ask people to subscribe. Well, I am now. Subscribe. I'm at 288. I was up to 291. Don't know how I lost the subscribers I did, but subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I'm still trying to get to 300. Um, still trying to get to 300. And without me rambling on, let's get to tonight's discussion. Tonight's discussion is about something that literally got me started in the I don't know what moment in a movement. I don't know. This is what got me started. You know what? I don't even know how to describe it. Let me turn on this light because I just realized it got turned off. I don't know how that happened. Okay. Okay. Um, this issue of Medicare for all is what literally started everything for me. Um, as a Let's see, I was 27 when I was diagnosed with diabetes. What gonna be 51? So 51 minus, yeah, I'm gonna do some subtraction. Just see how long I've had. Yeah, I know I'm gonna do this. And keep commenting. And Nelson, thank you. Hit that like button. We're doing yeah, that's right. We're doing the 25 likes. So now I can bring that over to port to here. 25 likes per podcast and 15 shares. So if the people who I see, we've got a good number of people watching tonight. If you could share this podcast, that would help me get to the 300 I'm trying to get to. So, okay, so 50, because I'm going to be 51 in the next couple of weeks. So I'm like, well, you're 51. And yes, I just told my age, but ha ha ha. So 27. So I've had diabetes for 24 years. Um, and it's not cheap to have diabetes. Uh, there's hospital stays when your blood sugars are either too low, that's hypo something something, I forget what it's called, and then there's hyper, what I call DKA, when it's too high. There's the daily maintenance. There's now I started off with finger sticks, so I had to get uh, the testing strips, the lancet, the meter. Then I had to go on insulin. I took 2 types of insulin. Eventually, I got on a pump, which is what I'm on now. Those things are not cheap. And so I always thought, even before I had diabetes, I'm like, wonder why we don't get health care for free. And when I say free, I mean not coming out of your tax check. People have said, oh, you can pay for Medicare, you only pay for doing, having a little bit higher taxes. I'm gonna tell you why I think you don't even have to do that. There's a couple ways you can do it, but in theory, I've always believed that every American citizen deserves to have free health care that's not one tied to employment and that is available to anyone regardless of their income. So everybody from the baby that lives in I don't want to say, I'm trying to think, in an urban community to the richest child living in a mansion should have the exact same access to healthcare. That's something I've always believed. And it's something I've always been for. a couple of years ago, I had the pleasure of starting the first um, Indiana March for Medicare for All. So I'm doing a whole lot of history here. But a couple years ago, there was this big, huge march across 56 cities across the nation um, to get, I'm just going to call it socialized medicine because that's what it is. And Indiana wasn't one of those states. And I kept saying, well, how come we don't have one? How come we don't have one? Well, I decided I was just going to do something about that and decided I'm going to organize a march. And that's what I did with the help of a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people uh, helped organize that march and did a great job with it. Um, we had about, and for us, this is a good number. We had about 100 people attend. That actually beat the national march. So we did very well. And then, of course, COVID hit. So we did a virtual one. We didn't do one this year um, because I was doing this. And I thought, oh, no, I'm going to be. I became a West. I volunteered with the West Abdullah campaign. So I didn't do anything with that. But I was still, advocating for Medicare for all. And I'll talk about what we're going to do in 2025 here at the end. But that was where everything kind of got started for me. And you realize, you realize that the United States is like the probably only industrialized country that does not have health care for its citizens at no charge. And that's because of the pharmaceutical lobby and the insurance lobby. It becomes very um, depressing because you realize you hear politicians, especially Republicans, they're really good at this. They'll say it's too much. You're just wanting a handout. You just want things, and you don't want to pay for them. Again, you're looking for a handout. It costs too much. You should work for what you have. And healthcare, and again, please comment. Healthcare is a right. It's not something you get because you're privileged. It's something you get because you're born. And I appreciate um, I appreciated because I knew that Dr. West, because I'm just learning about Dr. Abdullah, but I knew Dr. West is definitely for Medicare for all. Um, in terms of it should just be available, right? And I appreciated that in the platform that um, was presented, he wants to move beyond that. Now, I would like a little bit more details in terms of moving beyond Medicare for all. I think I know what that means, but I'm not 100% certain. We got another comment here. Marcus Anderson, preventive health measures are paramount due to a lack of reasonable care. Yes and no, because again, I have diabetes. I don't make insulin at all. There's nothing I can do that's going to make me make insulin. I do all the preventive, all the all the preventive work I can do. I can keep my weight down, which I'm not doing a good job of, but I can lose some weight. I could be right in my weight range, and I'm still gonna have complications, and those complications are um, expensive. So what I'm gonna do here, I was unemployed for almost a year and lost my health insurance. See, that's another thing I don't like. Why is it? I'm going to read the whole statement and then kind of break it down because, Nelson, you're saying so many important things here. I was employed for almost a year and lost my health insurance. I just got back to work last Thursday, so I had to wait until I have enough time to get reinstated. It should be a human right. Absolutely. First of all, congratulations on finding work. I know that was a big thing for you. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. One, why you gotta wait? You need health care now. You have to wait what? Um, 30 days probably, which is what most employers do. That's ridiculous. Oh, and that cost is gonna come out of your paycheck. I'm 99% certain of it. But I want to look at just kind of to show you the need for this, I want to look at knee surgeries in the United States as compared to, um, I'm going to look at U.S. healthcare costs versus other countries. And I'm looking at this because I want to look at the overall, um, and I'm going to do a live screen sharing tonight. And again, keep the comments coming. Y'all know I struggle by myself. Oh, I don't like it. I'm going to be so happy that I have an interview next week. So here's a fact that people didn't know. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay. So healthcare expenditures per person in the United States were $12,555 in 2022, which was $4,000 more than other high income nations. The average person spent on healthcare, the average amount spent on healthcare per person in in comparable countries, $6,651,000 is about half of what the U.S. spends. So we spending too dang on much. We are spending too much money on our health care. And we have 61 million people that go bankrupt in the United States because of medical debt. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, there's companies buying up that debt. Like there are states that buy that debt. But they shouldn't have to be doing that, right? We should not be doing that. So I want to look at, let's see, we're going to look at knee replacement surgery costs versus other countries. Okay. In Mexico, in 2021, a knee replacement in Mexico was $12,500, which is less than half the cost of in the U.S. So that means that knee surgery in the United States costs what, $25,000 to get a knee replacement? Let's see what other countries are. In Colombia, knee replacement costs $8,000. In India, it costs $6,600. A knee replacement in Poland costs 4,800 euros. In Canada, now Canada's kind of high. Now, Canada, a knee replacement in Canada costs somewhere between 10,500 to 16,000. That's look at this. Actually, it says that in the United States, a knee replacement costs $35,000 US dollars, while in Israel, the cost is $25,000 in US dollars. At the end of the scale, a knee replacement costs 6.6 thousand US dollars in India. So You could fly to India, get a hotel, and still come out cheaper. Whereas if we had health care that was guaranteed for every citizen, we wouldn't have to go through this. And the argument of, well, it costs too much. That's convenient. Look at what we got. Another comment because I'm gonna get back to my point I was just about to. As a human right, tackling systemic iniquities, I think inequalities, and ensuring no one is denied health care due to race, class, or oh, thank you for explaining that. We pay by capita more than any other country, and we don't get coverage. Exactly, and the arguments, um, the arguments against Medicare for all to me are very silly. Um, it's mostly cost, right? It's mostly a bunch of conservatives talking about how Americans will become lazy and they won't want to work for their benefits. Medicare for all is cheaper than any other form of healthcare. It's cheaper than private insurance. It's cheaper than Medicaid. It's cheaper than the actual Medicare that we have in place, which technically speaking isn't free, but we use it as kind of a coverall because everybody understands Medicare Part A is free. That's hospitalization, and then B is a premium, and then you have C, and then you have D. Um, it it annoys me that people, and this is definitely elected officials, you will have elected officials say, I'm against Medicare for all, i.e., Joe Biden, Ted Cruz, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, will say they're against Medicare for all because it costs too much. Meanwhile, they get their health care for free. So what they're really telling me is that it's okay that I'm paying for their health care, but I don't deserve it, right? I don't deserve anything in terms of access. I don't deserve any type of reproductive choices, although I'm a little bit past that age, cancer screenings, etc., because I'm not in politics, or I don't serve in the U.S. military, right? Those are only two reasons. Those are only two ways that we can get that a citizen can get free healthcare. You either have to join the military, or you have to be a member of Congress. Um, and that shouldn't be, right? And the way they advocate against it, it's because of money in politics. I'm not going to bring this up because I don't want to keep switching to my shared screen. But the anti-Medicare for all movement, it's real. There are health care, and I call them I call them, let's see, groups against Medicare for all. Okay, so I'm looking at something that says, what's the problem with Medicare for all? I see no problem with it, but Google says the estimate cost of Medicare for all is around $32 trillion over 10 years. Keep that in mind. Over 10 years, Medicare for all would require privately insured individuals to forego their insurance and join the government program. This price tag and requirement that all join makes Medicare for all unlikely to pass. No, we're just not working hard enough. Um, you have big pharma and hospitals that team up to. I agree, it's not the best place to do research. Real Bigs, I 1,000,000% agree with you, but that's the only tools that I have except for Yahoo. Because I was just trying to understand like the argument. Now you'll hear someone like Joe Biden say, "Oh, well, it costs too much." 32. Keep in mind, $32 trillion over 10 years. So that's $3.2 trillion a year. How much did we spend on military budget? Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. How much is the military's budget? So the military's budget in 2024, 2023 was 916 billion. That's an increase. And keep in mind, this increases every single year. I thought it was $1 trillion, to be honest. But 916 billion, you might as well say you're right at trillion. Um, you're sending money for all of these wars. You increase it every year, no questions. No questions. It's not like the soldiers get that money, right? It's not like you're putting it in the pockets of the people that are sacrificing up to their lives for this country. But you're complaining about $3.2 trillion, which would actually save money, right? Medicare for all would actually save money, not spend money. The way they keep sending our troops to fight other people's wars, it's not safe to get in the military at all. It's not, but it's the only way besides getting into elected office that you can get health care for free. That's called TRICARE when you're in the military. Because literally, that's the only way I know. Those are the only two ways I know, or to be fabulously wealthy, where you're just buying your own health insurance. 84 billion short of $1 trillion. Yeah, it's short, but I thought that number, I don't think that number is right. But I know that Medicare for All saves money. And I know that Big Pharma is against it because think about it. If the government takes over, um, if the government takes over processing healthcare claims, you've just put out a whole industry mostly out of business, right? Now, there was a bill written by Bernie Sanders. I know that, that Bernie Sanders that addressed, what would happen in this scenario where we wouldn't rely on private insurance companies to administer health care anymore. Um, and don't ask me the name of the bill because I just called it the Bernie bill. Um, $50,000 per worker. Um, they would get 2 years of training. They would get so we would port those over. People are like, well, you would just get, how you gonna train them? Well, you would just get the people that work in the healthcare industry now. You would train them to work in the new government system. This can be done, right? This can be done. It's a matter of, do we want to do it? Do we want to pressure our congresspeople, our senators, our president, so that we can get the same health care that they can get? Um, there's a propaganda war that the media has. And again, it's because of the big insurance companies. Like I said, think about it. they're losing a majority of their business. Now, will private insurance 100% go away? No. Um, some people probably aren't going to like the you have to take this insurance mandate that I think is necessary. Um, I don't think the public option is the same. Um, okay, see, I disagree. Your premiums go up. The government can run it much better, which is why Medicare for All saves money. Um, and it's not taking away choice. See, yeah, I'm gonna disagree with this whole comment right here. Just disagree with the whole thing, because for me, the government can run things cheaper than the private industry can at any time. This Medicare for All isn't about taking away choices. Medicare for All is expanding choices, especially for treatments that require like authorizations and clinical trials and things that are bogged up in red tape, right? So it's to me, it's Medicare for All isn't restricting choices; it's expanding choices. I don't know why you would love your private health insurance, because that's coming out of your check, right? Because I'm going to assume it's tied to an employer, unless you just got money like that and you out here just doing you. You switch jobs, you're going to lose that insurance, right? Because you're switching jobs. Now you got to enroll into a new one. You got to wait 30 days. Let's just say, you just decide to change jobs. You just decide, oh, I really, I've been at this job for so long, it's time to get something else. You had to get Cobra, which is completely, that is like gangsterized healthcare, in my opinion. But let's just say you don't. Um, um, you switch jobs. You just basically switch jobs. So you have to get rid of the healthcare you already had. You have to enroll into this new healthcare, pay a new cost, possibly find new doctors, or make sure that the doctors that you had are in the new doctors' networks. Whereas if we just had Medicare for All and all the doctors are already enrolled, we wouldn't have to be worrying about that. We would be free to look for the employment that we want, because it wouldn't be tied to our employer. And keep in mind this, premiums go up every year. I've never known an insurance premium to go down year to year. It always increases. My insurance premium went up $64. How am I going to pay that? I don't know. And some employers don't give cost of living raises. Some do, but by the time they get the raise, it goes to pay for health care. So I'm not sure why you love your private health insurance. I think it's the worst type of insurance um that you can possibly have. So let's read these comments. Okay. Oh, Black Power Push. Sorry, I didn't thank you for coming on. I agree, Tracy. Nelson says, yet when vets get seriously injured, they make commercials asking for donations to help the injured vet. So who's really taking care of the soldiers? You would think the VA. But yeah, they got the Wounded Warrior Project and all of these things. It's like, well, yep. Choice of insurance providers, that means nothing to me. If you can provide a choice of doctors like you provide a choice of fast food restaurants, then I don't know what the rest of that is. Again, keep in mind that most doctors are already registered in the Medicare system right now. So we're not talking about a whole bunch of doctors that had to be enrolled. Um, you're not going to lose your doctor, because 9 times out of 10, your doctor is already enrolled in the system. They're already receiving Medicare payments. They're going to not have to fill out different forms for different insurance companies. That's another cost that people don't keep in mind. Is when the doctor's office is doing their billing, they're not just filling out one form for the government. They're filling out one form for Humana, one for Anthem, one for Cigna, one from Blue Cross, one from all these insurance companies. Yes, they have um, similar forms, UB 1500 and SM 1100. I forget what that form is called. But they have similar forms they had to fill out, but they had to submit those to each company that has their own guidelines to submit. That would that would reduce paperwork, right? Because now all you have is just the government. You just got one form. That's it. You're done. Then you have an argument for whatever reason you want people to be healthy. Okay, Tobias, you got to explain that. And thanks for coming in. But Medicare for all, to me, it's just essential. Now, I've already said this. It's a human right. It's a human right. Our healthcare system in this country is atrocious. We have, 60 million people that do not have access to healthcare right now. The Affordable Care Act is garbage. Anybody bring that up, I probably will block you, because the Affordable Care Act is garbage. It's been garbage. It's still garbage. Not going to really talk about it. The public option doesn't work for me because, again, that's people buying into the system. We could do so many things. Okay, now you're making it clear. Anybody arguing for private healthcare choices are ridiculous. Public health is not a profit motive. Exactly. That's enough. You guys make the arguments that I can never seem to make. That is such a great deal, the point, because my healthcare should not be like your profit model, right? It just shouldn't be. But you think about, if you just think about how, if I can speak, the argument has always been, how are we going to pay for it? Well, I just gave you one really good place. You could cut military spending. You could tax higher income earners. You could pass a tax, but most Americans aren't for that, and I don't think it's necessary. Matter of fact, I don't think it's necessary to cut anything, and I'll kind of explain what I mean. So I believe in monetary theory. Basically, we don't have a debt. It's a made-up number. Why don't we just pay for everything we got to pay for and keep it moving? That's basically what monetary theory is. That is a better way to pay for it. That way it's not coming out of your paycheck. It's not coming out. We're not asking people to pay more taxes. We're just saying, okay, we're going to take that decimal off the debt and move it. Now, I know somebody libertarian is going to say, that's increasing the deficit. Study monetary theory. There's no such thing as a deficit. No such thing as a deficit. I don't know if the West Abdullah campaign is for monetary theory, because I've read the platform like a lot of times and I've never seen it in there. So I don't want to speak for the campaign, but I'm going to speak for me. I think that's the best option we have, because if you look at it, I don't know if it was the Afghanistan war, the Iraq. We've been in so many ridiculous wars, but one of those wars was costing $300 million every single day. Now you just take 300 times 365, and then you keep adding zeros, and that's how much. Where do we get that money from? But we can't come up with $3.2 trillion over 10 years, you can miss me with that mess. You can miss me with that. We should have been the citizens of this country need to demand Medicare for all. It's time out for saying, "Oh, please give it to us. It'll say you might." No, we need to demand it, and we need to stop voting for parties that won't give it to us. You have the Democratic Party. Yes, you know the Republicans are already trash. You already know they're going to be against it because they want to protect. They want people to go out and work for their benefits and keep you stuck to a job for umpteen years. And they want you to, you know, contribute and make your contribution and da 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 da. And then you have the Democratic Party talking about, well, if you just expand the Affordable Care Act, problem is you haven't expanded it towards Medicare for all. If you were moving towards that, I could almost let it go. But if you look at the premiums for the Affordable Care Act, no American should be paying a premium for their health care coverage. That's a right. That's something, again, you get because you are born. Not because you're rich, not because you're the 1%, not because you're in a specialized clique. It's because you were born, you're breathing, you're moving. Your lungs are functioning. Your diaphragm is helping your lungs breathe. Your brain is moving. That's why you deserve it. Because you're a human being. Life expectancy is longer with countries with socialized medicine. Access to healthcare. It's when people are, and let me get my thoughts together on this one because I want to make sure I'm saying it right. When people say that it costs too much, look at the alternative. We just went over what a knee surgery in the United States costs. $35,000. Now, I want everybody here watching today because I see quite a few people watching. If you got $35,000 for a surgery, you know, just comment your name. Just go ahead, comment your name because I don't have it. And that's just a knee surgery. We're not talking about cancer treatment. We're not talking about hospice care. We're not talking about rehabilitation services. Um, we're not talking about anything. I just picked knee surgery, like the most basic surgery. Um, and it amazes me that so many common people who this would help. This would help so many because again, if you're paying for your health care out of your check, yes, your employer is paying a majority of that. But now your employer doesn't have to pay it either. So that's 75% on average that they're paying, ideally, because they won't do it. Ideally, that could be in your paycheck. Um, They take me out back and shoot me if my knee goes out, and I built this country in this era. Yeah, 35,000. I'm just saying, if you got $35,000 for a knee, and that's one knee, that's just one, not double. I didn't do hip surgery. I just picked knee replacement. No, knee surgery. I didn't pick knee replacement. And let's not talk about prescriptions and the ridiculousness of prescriptions. Let me tell you, I'm paying with insurance. I pay 15. Yep, I'm gonna now this one. I'm gonna like prescriptions is what's taking a lot of us. You know, us with chronic diseases that we have to have prescriptions or it's goodbye us. Um, this one I am gonna screen share. I'm bringing it up because I want you all to see this and how much this is. Oh, come on. Novo. I'm looking up Novolog. So I take Novolog. Um, and my insurance doesn't allow for generic at all. So I have to get Novolog because my plan won't cover um it won't cover a generic, even though generics save money. But I'm gonna just show you all. I'm not even gonna tell you. Because I want you to take this cost $86.39. Are you kidding me? And that's an average. That's an average. And somebody, whoever says they have prescription drug cost benefits programs, yeah, they have programs that are means tested, and you have to qualify for $86.39. That's per month. So if I didn't have health insurance, and again, my plan does not allow me to get generic, which is like maybe 15 a month, but that was $86.39. $86.39. And that's for, I'm assuming, a 30-day supply. If you're just talking about a 30-day supply, which is 12, because there's 12 months in a year on average, that's $1,036.68 a year. That's for Novolog. Now start adding in test strips, start adding in, and now that I don't use test strips as much because now I'm on a continuous glucose monitor, good luck with that. That's $75 off every month off the bat. So now if you're talking about $75 for a sensor, oh, plus you gotta have, like, if you don't have an iPhone to read it, you have to get a reader, which that's what, $100 and something. So if you pay $75 a month for a reader, for a sensor, and that's Freestyle Libra. I have Dexcom. Dexcom is a little bit more expensive. So for Freestyle Libra, I know it's $75. That's $900 per year. Okay, so I'm gonna go see what a Dexcom 7 is. I just want to see because, boy, Dexcom 7. Okay, so Dexcom 7 meter, a Dexcom 7 meter is $171.28. Are you kidding me? So that's $171.28. So yeah, we're gonna, yeah, cause see now these numbers are starting to add up. So if it's $171, $171.28 multiplied by 12, that's $2,055.36. You see how this adds up? And I'm just talking about diabetes. I'm not talking about cancer. I'm not talking about ALS. I'm just picking diabetes because I have diabetes, right? And I'm tied to a job. So if I switch jobs or lose my job, then I have to apply for Medicaid, which Medicaid is not terrible, but you have to be poor, so poor and busted to apply for Medicare, to qualify for it. No thanks to uh, the Biden administration that dropped people from Medicaid for no reason. Um, 13 is ever um it is estimated that over 13 million people lost their Medicaid coverage. They had it during the pandemic. Like, you could have just kept it, but no, you said no. No, we're gonna just throw them off. And most of those people don't qualify, so now they got to go to healthcare.gov to find new insurance. Um, 25 million people were disenrolled by Medicaid overall, but 56 did have their coverage renewed. Nearly all states now have completed the Medicaid unwinding process. That's what they're calling it. This just, and then they wonder why they lost. They lose. I don't know why we. When we lose, we lost the election. I can't believe, because you threw 13 million people off of Medicaid when you didn't have to. You could just let them continue. Yes, Medicare recipients like it, but they also can't generate any meaningful income. Exactly. You can't, if you start working, oh, you off. That's it. Your benefits are going to decrease. So they're actually punishing people for working, right? Republicans will make the comment that, you know, you don't want to give handouts. You want people to participate in the system. But if you start working, you lose your benefit, which it should be the opposite. Everyone should have, I would say Medicaid for all, but since most people don't understand Medicaid, I say Medicare just so people will understand it. Um, this is just, I feel like this issue should be something that we're demanding of our Congress people. Whether you voted R, D, no, let me backtrack. I feel like we should vote them out of office because they're never going to have they don't even have a hearing on Medicare for all. You have the fraud that advocated for Medicare for all, but they haven't done that in 3 or 4 years. You can't get a hearing on, you can't get a vote on it, but there's 100 co-sponsors. Really? We need to be voting these people out of office and get justice for all candidates in office that will advocate for Medicare for all and moving beyond that. Because this is utterly ridiculous. They're not gonna do it. If you think all you people that came in here talk about Trump 2025, if you think that Trump is gonna pass Medicare for all, I got some sorry news for you, boo boo, because it ain't gonna happen. It's not going to happen at all. Don't look for it. Because at least Biden said straight up, hey, if it gets to my desk, I'm going to veto it. Of course, his health care is free for the rest of his life because he was president and vice president. But hey, whatever, that's one of the perks. You know, you got to be that top 1% to get health care. But we need to get these people out of office. They're beholden to the owner. They're beholden to the donor class. They're beholden not to you, not to me. And it's just ridiculous. And I did not realize I've been talking an hour. Oh my gosh. I guess I am passionate about this issue. It makes me sad that more people are just so complacent. You look at presidents didn't always have pensions. Ask Truman if presidents can get cared for. We can. If you could kind of explain your sentence there, I would appreciate it. Um, it's it's this issue is too important. Again, you have 61 million Americans that go into debt because they're paying for medical reasons, for medical debt. Medical debt is tearing this country apart. And when I say medical, here's what I'm including. It's going to include vision, dental, medical, and prescription. That's all one plan. Your eyes, uh, and your ears, your eyes, are a part of your body. Um, so the plan I'm talking about includes, again, pharmacy, dental, your teeth are a part of your body, vision, and medical. All four of those. Not just you got to pick this provider for this. No, I'm talking about all four of those. Presidents themselves had to fight for health care. We can too. Okay. So now, Tobias, I'm glad you said that, because again, I have an announcement. I always have an announcement, but um, should I make it? I'll put it in this way. In Indiana, um, there will be a march for Medicare for All March, July the 26th, 2025. That's a whole long ways away. The hope is that other cities will kind of pick it up and start their own, but we know ours will be July 26, 2025. Because we have to get public engagement. We can't just sit here and not fight. You know, there are so many people that don't even have access to healthcare at all. The majority of us have access through our employment. If we lose our employment, then we have no health care. We have to start the ball moving. We're going to have a meeting virtually, to kind of get organized, but I can very well say with assurance that Indiana will have our march July the 26th, 2025. It'll be in Indianapolis, Indiana, the capital city. You know I'm going to have more details. You know I'm going to have more details. Not only your presidents, senators, Congress people, they all have it. And guess how much they pay for it? A big fat zero. So in other words, their health care is important, but you and me, that doesn't mean a thing. Doesn't mean a thing. So keep that date in mind. Like I said, it's our hope that other truth and the other justice for all parties will do the same. But we know that's what we're doing. And we know this issue is too important for us to sit down and not do anything about it. We have to demand it. There's no it's time out for just saying, well, would you consider it, please? And here are the pros and here are the cons. No. It's like, no, we're demanding that we get Medicare for all. Period. We don't want the private insurance running it. We want the government to run it because governments run things at lower costs. We don't have the option of going backwards. We only have the option of going forward. And so we have to move forward in a manner that is going to get us to that goal of healthcare for everyone. And I'm trying to see what next week's topic is going to be, because I will have guests next week. So next week's topic is going to be a living wage. A living wage will be the topic for next week. Yeah, I did not think I was going to talk an hour. I literally did not think I was going to sit here an hour and talk about the need for Medicare for all, but it's literally what got me started in terms of my political journey. Um, me being aware of, oh yeah, it would be nice if we had free health care, because that would mean people would have more money to spend on things that they actually want to spend money on. Um, get involved. Um, just type whatever state you live in. If there's no march in your state, start organizing one. That's essentially what I did. And look at where I'm at today. Um, it's it's a fight that's worth fighting, and it's a fight we are going to win. But we need to stop asking and start demanding. It's time out for asking for Medicare for all. It's time we start demanding Medicare for all. So, in conclusion, that is what I wanted to talk about. Remember, um, remember to visit CornelWest2024.com. You can still donate. There are some few expenses that the campaign needs. Yes, reproductive rights are automatically included. Yes. Uh-huh. So remember to visit CornelWest2024.com. Um, you can still donate. $5 um, is a great starting point. Every little bit helps to kind of shore up some final expenses that the campaign has. We didn't get $1 billion. You didn't see Dr. West out here spending $10 million to have a celebrity give like a 3-minute endorsement speech. Your $5 will go very, very far in helping um, shore up some of those outstanding debts that the campaign has. Um, Here's something again I never ask people to do: subscribe. I don't know why I keep losing subscribers. I have no idea. I don't know. Um, I guess I'm not likable. Um, but please subscribe. Please, 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 please subscribe. Next week, like I said, I will have guests. Um, He did not. He only donated $3,300, and people like Brianna Joy Gray took Dr. West to the mat for that. And I'm still like, I would have accepted it. I'm like, but that's me. Um, but I'm talking about the Democratic Party. They raised $1 billion and still lost, which I say just what they get. But again, we've got to stop. A lot of people are just missing out right now, Tracy. Absolutely, or just missing. Absolutely. Um, Remember, like I said, next week I will have a guest next week. Oh my gosh, I think I'll have 2 guests next week. So next week's show will be much better. I'm going to take myself down. I'm going to watch some football. Um, and I will see you Tuesday. I'm going to change my moniker for Tuesday because I was supposed to interview a Trump voter Tuesday. I think we're going to move that to not this coming Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. So we'll do that, and I'll just talk about whatever on Tuesday. But remember to subscribe to this show. Remember, we're starting the 25 likes campaign. Like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up. Share this video. If you got Facebook, if you have Twitter, which yes, I'm going to still call it Twitter, um, share it there. Email it to a couple of your friends. Thank you. Share, 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 share. The more that the message of the justice for all party gets out, the better. We're going to take this year out with a bang. As Dr. West always says, this is a moment and a movement. And with that, I'm going to take myself down. But remember, we have issues worth fighting for. Have a good one.